London is often seen as a dream destination for travelers around the world, but its airports are no longer as welcoming. Heathrow, one of the busiest airports in Europe, has been operating at full capacity for over 2 decades. Enter a $76 billion plan to build a state-of-the-art island airport in the Thames Estuary, designed to meet future air travel demands. However, turning this vision into reality comes with numerous challenges, some of which are truly surprising. Does this idea make sense? Let's dive in. London is known as the busiest airline market, with its 6 airports playing a crucial role. London City Airport is a key transport hub, serving over 30 destinations across the UK and Europe. Although smaller in size, it has gained considerable attention due to its central location and premium services. Gatwick, another London airport, was the world's first to offer a direct train link. However, Heathrow remains the primary and largest international airport in the city. Its history dates back to 1930, when British aircraft manufacturer Richard Ferry paid £15,000 to build a private airport for assembling and testing aircraft. Initially, the site featured just one grass runway and a few small buildings. During World War II, the British government requisitioned land around the village of Heathrow to establish RAF Heston. In 1946, the airport was transformed into a civilian hub known as London Airport. The first aircraft to take off from Heathrow was a converted bomber named Starlight, which took 35 hours to fly to Buenos Aires. Imagine being there at that time. You wouldn't see any permanent buildings, and even the terminals were just old military tents. By the end of its first operational year, the airport had served 63,000 passengers. In the 1950s, as air travel rapidly grew, the need for permanent structures became clear. By 1961, the airport boasted 2 state-of-the-art terminals, and in 1966, its name was officially changed to Heathrow. These days, Heathrow serves over 200 destinations across more than 85 regions and countries. In 2024, it was the 4th busiest airport in the world based on passenger numbers. Can you guess how many passengers that is? Nearly 84 million passengers passed through its 5 terminals in 2024. Surprising, right? So why does London need a new airport? As we've discussed, Heathrow has been operating at full capacity for nearly 2 decades. However, with the rising trend in air travel, the number of passengers has steadily increased over the years. By 2050, passenger demand is forecast to reach 400 million per year. With the current infrastructure across its 6 airports, London simply won't be able to handle that level of traffic. So what's the solution? Before we dive into that, I want to remind you to subscribe to my channel if you're new here. The construction industry never fails to surprise us with insanely expensive projects like this one, and I'm here to make sure you don't miss a single one. Now, let's get back to this exciting project. The first option that comes to mind is expanding Heathrow Airport by adding a new runway, a plan that has been widely discussed. In 2016, after more than 25 years of debate, the UK government approved a $22 billion plan to build a 3rd runway. According to recent reports from BBC, this expansion would increase the number of flights permitted to 720,000 per year. However, it wasn't that simple. Building a 3rd runway would require diverting rivers, demolishing thousands of homes, and rerouting the M25 motorway through a tunnel under the new runway. While the plan was approved, legal battles and the impact of the pandemic have delayed progress. As of 2025, there's still no visible progress. One alternative was to link Heathrow and Gatwick airports to increase capacity. However, this idea was not approved due to significant financial, engineering, and political challenges. Another option is to expand London's other airports. Both Stansted and Gatwick serve areas with low population density, making them ideal candidates for expansion. What do you think about this proposal? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. There was also another proposal that suggested building an entirely new airport in less populated areas, like Oxfordshire. In 2018, another idea made headlines, a vision for a high-speed rail link connecting Heathrow and Gatwick airports. However, this £10 billion project never came to fruition, despite its ambitious designs and potential benefits. It was also possible that no actions would take place at all. In this case, travelers would face restrictions as authorities attempted to control the rising future demand. While the $76 billion airport plan is still just that, a plan, it has gained significant attention worldwide. Officially named London Britannia Airport, this proposal was introduced as a futuristic 6-runway airport on an artificial island, similar to the approach used for Hong Kong International Airport. The detailed vision for this airport was unveiled in 2011 by architects Foster & Partners and engineers Heathrow. However, the proposal was rejected by the Airports Commission (AC) in 2014. In 2016, Boris Johnson, former Prime Minister of the UK, revived the idea as an alternative to the third runway at Heathrow. He said, "If we are to secure the connectivity we need to support our future growth and prosperity and do so without dire impacts on public health, then we must do better than Heathrow." Given Boris Johnson's passion for the proposal, the airport earned the nickname Boris Island. One of the main challenges has been financial issues. However, a report published by Boris Johnson raised hopes that the airport would attract billions of pounds in investment from countries like China and Brazil. Make sure you stick around, as I'll reveal some dramatic challenges later in this video. Now, let's explore what this airport could look like if it becomes a reality in the future. Located on the Isle of Grain in the Thames Estuary, it would serve as a next-generation international hub, helping London maintain its status as a global city. The airport would be capable of handling 150 million passengers per year with over 400 gates. Thames Estuary Research and Development stated that the proposed design would avoid many of the issues faced by other land-based airport developments. One of the most exciting aspects of the design is that aircraft would not fly over densely populated areas, a major problem with Heathrow. For decades, residents have complained about safety risks and noise pollution from flights passing over the densely populated city. Recently, there have also been growing concerns about the impact of soaring carbon emissions. On the other hand, if we consider the Thames Estuary Airport, takeoff and landing would occur over water. This isn't just a practical feature, it would also be an exciting experience for passengers. Forget the concept of frustrating car traffic around the airport. The design envisions a seamless, car-free airport connected to a high-speed rail tunnel. There would be no private car access. Imagine if Heathrow were closed and a new airport opened in the Thames Estuary. In this case, the number of people affected by noise from the new airport would be much smaller compared to the existing Heathrow. Sir Howard Davies, chairman of the Airports Commission, has also emphasized the potential of this plan to reduce the number of flights over central London. However, it's important to note that Heathrow has its own advantages. In this video, our main focus is on the Thames Estuary Airport, so we've discussed its benefits in comparison to Heathrow. If you'd like a detailed video on Heathrow, please let me know in the comments. To ensure 24-hour operations, the runway would be designed so that 3 to 4 planes could operate simultaneously. Logistics operations would be based at Sheerness, with an exciting upgrade of the A249 road leading to a new M2 connection. Instead of checking in at the airport itself, passengers would check in at terminals located at Ebbsfleet International Railway Station, next to the high-speed rail link, and St Pancras International in London. The plan also suggests building additional check-in terminals at the Royal Docks in East London and in Central London. While the idea of the Thames Estuary Airport makes sense, there are many challenges that led to the rejection of the plan. According to the report published by the Airports Commission, an airport would need to demonstrate that there are no feasible alternatives. A large area of compensation habitat creation would be required, and this would be on a scale unprecedented for any single development in Europe. The estimated cost to find alternative habitats for wildlife is $2 billion. One of the reports explained that the construction of a new airport would require halting operations at Heathrow. It stated, "Overall, the challenges to transition are considerable and amount to a significant cost and risk to the taxpayer in terms of commercial negotiations, infrastructure development, and potential failure." Shutting down operations at one airport and starting at another is akin to opening the door to a long-lasting war of controversy. One of the most dramatic challenges the proposal faced was that the proposed site was located near a sunken warship, which contained over 10,000 unexploded bombs on board. Who would take that risk? So, unfortunately, the idea remains just that, on paper. In early 2025, attention shifted to the construction of a third runway at Heathrow Airport. However, do you think the Thames Estuary Airport plan has potential and should come to fruition? Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments.